I don't know what to call what you did. It was weird. It's always weird. You always take the fucking weird route. Just do the normal route, which is just do the normal route, but a normal girlfriend
You're
would do. And
acting
go,
like
I
this is
didn't
all
mean
just
it.
me, and that's something you really need to fucking fix.
I'm gonna fucking bash your fucking head against the wall with a brick if you don't shut the fuck up. Because this one, genuinely, this one, you fucked this royally. Fucked this. Hello everyone, I'm Alex. Welcome back to another video. Today we need to stop this bloke. He sucks, doesn't he? He's terrible. Get rid of him. Get him out of here. You tosser. When you should lay down like a good fucking dog, you don't fucking do it. You might not have anything to fucking lose, because your life might go down the fucking drain, but I still have quite a lot that I would like to fucking give. You're making it incredibly fucking hard for me. I fucking hate all of you, because it's generally because you're just fucking brain dead. That is the equivalent of career suicide.
So, recently it's fair to say it's been a bit quiet on allegations. I mean, we had Wilbur getting a little hungry, but besides that, everything seems to have ended up being untrue. So, our antagonist today, considering that he is in fact a commentary channel himself, was evidently struggling for video ideas. His genius solution? Abuse the shit out of his girlfriend.
I'm gonna fucking bash your fucking head against the wall with a brick.
Allegedly. Truly, a genius content strategy. So, for those of you who aren't familiar, let's give you a quick rundown on our friend here, Alex. ImAllexx is a drama content creator with over 2.5 million subscribers across his two channels, mostly focusing on slop content surrounding weird TikTokers. He's also pretty well known for being the least entertaining one in the group, the E-Boys, alongside Will and E, Meatless, and James Marriott. He's been in controversy a couple times before, but the main one that I want to touch on quickly is his involvement in the Slazzo drama a couple years back, where Alex was one of the main YouTubers spreading false abuse allegations about Slazzo. This is going to seem quite ironic considering everything that we're about to talk about. So, getting onto the situation going right now, this all started the same way that every serious situation should, by someone vague posting about it on fucking TikTok. Look, I know, I get it, but trust me, this isn't a complete waste of time. So, this is Alice, Alex's ex, and I'm once again aware that e-girl always means false allegations. Trust me, I know, but let's just calm down for now. So pretty vague posts, but quickly people started assuming that she was talking about Alex since their relationship was public, and so it sat in this purgatory of vague posting for 2 months, not really getting any traction, no real developments, no one really speaking about it outside of comment sections. Then, on the 15th of June, the fucking mother of all documents dropped. Not 14 pages.
14 pages!
But 82 pages of juicy allegations that I have had to go through for your viewing pleasure. I mean, it's mostly screenshots, but still, it's a lot of fucking pages, so let's get into it. The document starts out by alleging that Alex has been threatening Alice not to come out with anything. Otherwise, he'll come out with a contradicting story to discredit her. It then goes into detail about the start of the relationship, claiming that they knew of each other for years before they ever started dating, which means Alice was probably aware of him when he looked like this and still dated him later. That was your first mistake. But despite this, they started dating on March 17th, 2023, with no issues or arguments to start off with. But issues did start cropping up, and where else could it possibly be but Discord? Ladies and gentlemen, that's another square on your allegations bingo card that you can cross off. Alex apparently assumed that since Alice was home all day, that would mean she would be free 24/7 to cool, whilst also trying to get her to completely shut her off from social interactions with other friends. Obviously, despite her best efforts, this wasn't possible, and it started causing small arguments, which would grow into severity until reaching the point where Alex would get on camera on Discord call and hurl abuse. As you saw at the start of the video, this part isn't an allegation really, as video recordings of incidents such as this were included in the Google Drive folder that this document was released in.
thing about you, and this is the thing, and this is why I fucking go round and round in circles. I join call, and when I'm getting, you're talking to me, going, this is the thing, even though now, when it's too fucking late, you admit that you did everything fucking wrong. But when it actually matters, when you should lay down like a good fucking dog, don't fucking do it, you fight for some reason. I don't know why you fight, because you're losing, because you end up admitting that you fucked it all up anyway. So it's just fucking weird. And I know that you're going to end up admitting that you fucked it all up, which is why it's easy.
Now, whilst it's true, we don't know for a fact the cause of these arguments, Alice certainly could have done something worse than she claims to cause this reaction. Even then, this really isn't ever an acceptable way to talk to your girlfriend. And look, don't get me wrong, I'm based. Hate women as much as the next guy. I'm Anna and Kay's strongest soldier. I've been taking my red pills, and I've made sure to train my Instagram algorithm to exclusively give me Andrew Tate clips and Sneeko's greatest moments.
Why is pedophilia wrong, Sneeko?
Yeah. Because it's not how a relationship, because God says it's wrong.
But even with all that in mind, I'm gonna have to say on this one that, yeah,
You can't do it. It's disgusting.
the document claims, however, that this abuse went even further than what was recorded, which, in an ideal world, yeah, that shouldn't be possible. With Alex going as far as telling Alice to, how do I say this without getting the video age restricted? Make her arms look like the rear wing of the 2009 Ferrari F1 car. This is made worse by the fact that, according to Alice, Alex was in fact aware that she did have a history of making her arms look like a Spotify scan code, which, honestly, if this is true, it's saying that shit's just fucking evil. So, with all that, that's page 1 covered. Yeah, we're gonna be here for a fucking while, and trust me, it only gets worse from now. The document moves on to show a series of texts, allegedly from Alex, showing him begging for Alice to get on call, stropping like E9 because people don't want to spend time with him. I fucking wonder why that is, mate. And insulting Alice, consistently using some really vile Ah, shit, Alex.
I owe you an apology. I wasn't really familiar with your game.
I didn't know you were based like that. I'll just delete the project file. Don't worry about it, man. No big. The document then goes on to outline how after these outbursts, Alex would try to convince Alice that it was her fault and that she needed to apologize, how she was the one who needed to fix this and fight for him. Alice claims that she would even get breakup threats for things as seemingly small as interacting with followers' tweets. This would be met by Alex allegedly calling her a bitch and threatening to refollow all of the people he cut contact with for her. Which, I mean, as it turns out, was a pretty pointless threat, since according to Alice, he was apparently already in contact with several of his exes, and she even claims to have found out that he was stalking one of his exes, even still having her nudes saved on his phone. Like, Alex, man, seriously, just go get some fucking normal. Damn. How fucking tragic do you have to be straight up jorking it to your ex? That is fucking wild, man. The document also goes into the way that Alex would allegedly try and manipulate Alice into staying with him, talking about how he could change her life forever and how she's nothing without him. Included in all of this, he was also occasionally venting about his friends to her, saying that, I can do everything I want alone without any of you. Truly some big words from someone who's nothing but an unfunny clout goblin, who's only really got the subscriber count he does, by floating from friend group to friend group, sucking every possible bit of relevancy out of them, so he can fuck them over and then move on, repeating the cycle. But yeah, no, big man, you're right, you can do it all yourself, and after this, trust me, you're probably gonna have to. Another argument Alice goes into is one that occurred whilst the two were on holiday in Italy. They were watching a video about a girl talking about her SA and how the trauma has made her hypersexual. Romantic viewing, I know. It will definitely be the first thing I watch on holiday with the first girl I managed to trick into believing I'm a functional person after I escaped the editing goon cave. But anyways, Alice decided to open up about her history with SA. And Alex, being someone who cares so much about victims that he slandered a fellow content creator when allegations came out, despite the fact that there was absolutely no evidence whatsoever, to the point of them having to leave the internet. Was very understanding of Alice and made sure to comfort her in this very vulnerable moment. Yeah, no, I'm just fucking kidding. He hit her with the, I don't want to know about what has been done to you by other guys. And when she went off crying to another room, as you fucking would, he threatened to book a flight home and leave her there. Bro honestly needs to join the fucking WNBA. That's the only place where you can miss this many easy fucking shots. But don't worry, our friend Alex here isn't done yet. I'd just like to reiterate that everything in this video, apart from what was said in the clip shown earlier, are only allegations, and until more proof comes out, I'd ask that you all treat them as such. Also, this is the point where it starts to get pretty bad, so last chance to leave. During the process of Alice helping Alex move house, he assumed that she was going to be moving in with him upon the move, without asking her beforehand, of course. Alice wasn't too hot on this idea. I wonder why. In this case, she actually confronted him on his abusive behavior, which, yeah, that went about as well as you'd expect it to. So, naturally, after this argument, they move in together. I'm convinced at this point Alex put all of his skill points into speech, because how the fuck? And yeah, as I said, this is where it starts to get quite dark. Only 4 days into living with each other, on October the 19th, Alice alleges that Alex got physical in an argument for the first time. It started out as a screaming match, with Alice asking Alex to leave her alone. But when she tried to walk away from the situation, Alex grabbed her hood and pulled on it until she fell to the floor. He told Alice that she wasn't getting away, at which point she tried to make a run for the bathroom. But Alex grabbed her, putting her into a headlock and covering her mouth to muffle the screaming. Despite this, she luckily eventually managed to get away and lock herself in the bathroom, at which point Alex started screaming at her from the other side of the door, demanding that she leave the house. For days after this, Alex would continue to scream in Alice's face, telling her to sue a slut's most popular Spotify song. He would also break her glasses, hide them, and then lie about it, even going as far to help her look for them, later admitting to it upon being confronted, laughing at her, saying it's not a big deal. All of this would obviously make Alice want nothing to do with Alex, which would in turn cause more arguments and just perpetuate the cycle. And now for the worst part. We have to talk about what Alex did to the pussy. Bear is Alice's cat, who she brought with her when she moved in with Alex. This quickly caused issues, since if everything we've seen so far is true, Alex is fucking psychotic and belongs in a fucking dog cage waiting to be put down. So, naturally, Alice didn't want him around her cat. Completely fair, to be honest. I wouldn't trust this man with a dead lost Mary, let alone my fucking pet. But obviously, since we've established at this point that Alex is subhuman slime, allegedly in my opinion, he naturally took to calling Bear his cat and making shitty jokes about taking the cat away from Alice. Luckily, Alice would soon too realise that Alex is some kind of little rat creature, as on the 28th of December, the final argument would occur. Alice was cleaning the kitchen in preparation for Alex's parents to come over. However, he must have thought that she was angry with him due to the fact that he was repeatedly asking if anything was wrong. Alice made it clear multiple times that she was fine and just wanted to clean. This evidently wasn't good enough for Alex, which I'm sure won't come as a surprise to anyone at this point. So what else would he do but start shouting? Eventually, after not getting much of a response from Alice due to the fact that by this point she was so mentally drained from this behaviour that she really didn't have much fight left in her, Alex started panicking, asking for chores to do as to help. Finally, Rose managed to do something somewhat normal, truly a miracle. However, upon asking him to take out the bins, wipe down the counters and so on, it became very clear that Alice hadn't considered one crucial thing. The fact that Alex evidently has the mental capacity of a toddler who just took a cinder block straight to the frontal lobe. Allegedly, in my opinion. So naturally, upon being asked to complete more than one task at once, he once again had a complete meltdown, saying that he simply cannot complete more than one task. But yeah, you can do everything you want alone, mate. Very fucking believable. Upon seeing Alex shrug like a toddler, or upon being asked to do basic tasks, Alice naturally decides to leave the room to get away from the situation. However, Alex, as you could probably guess by everything we've gone over so far, wasn't a massive fan of this, kicking her in the back on the way out. This being the second time he's physically hurt Alice, she quite rightly decided to contact a friend to get her and her stuff out, which I would advise anyone watching to do the very first time your partner gets physical with you. After contacting a friend, Alice went around the house packing her things. Alex obviously follows Alice around during this process, hurling abuse the whole time, a video of which is included within the Google Drive, and I will play some of you now.
It's like, and then you look like a fucking miserable fucking little cunt all the time. Like, your face is annoying to look at, like, when I come downstairs. Like, I'm actually fed up of looking at you. You actually, like, you're not fucking yourself.
Ninja.
Neither do you. So, leave it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I didn't go around fucking cleaning out everything that you don't clean up after. Why? But you don't look at that in your fucking little small brain.
After leaving due to fearing for her own safety, she later came back to pick up the rest of her stuff. Alex claimed that whilst packing, some keys had fallen off of her keyboard. However, when she checked the keyboard, it had been smashed to pieces, with Alex even going gorilla mode on both monitors and a webcam as well. This is obviously the point at which where the two broke up. As for the rest of the document, it goes into Alex's behaviour after the split, which is, as you would expect, a mix of continued insults, along with begging for contact to fix things. This all getting as desperate as Amazon delivery notes and handwritten letters, which, to be brutally honest, look like the scrawlings of an Arkham Asylum patient, which, you know, judging by everything we've looked at today, could possibly be the best place for Alex. I'm not going to go over any of this in detail here because it's pretty much all as you would expect and doesn't really demonstrate any behaviour from Alex that we haven't seen so far. The document, however, does end up clarifying a few things about how Alex said he was intending to respond. However, personally, I'd rather wait to see how he responds and make a follow-up video when that response does drop. Despite this, if you're curious to see any of these bits of the document, it is linked in the description of this video, so you can go have a look yourself. The document does end out by stating that not all of the evidence has been released for legal reasons, but more could be released at a later date if Alex chooses to respond. Despite this, however, more evidence has been unveiled since the release of the document, and I personally feel it really backs up Alice's case. If you uncrop some of the screenshots contained within the document, then it turns out Alice actually had Alex saved as this in her phone at some point. This I feel proves that everything said within the document should be believed, since Alice is in fact now our 10 out of 10 burger queen. So, with that is everything in the document covered. But because editing this video took way longer than expected, we now need to move on to the community's response. Obviously, there are a bunch of boilerplate responses from various former associates of ImAllexx. However, there are a couple I would like to focus in on. First off is another document released by another one of Alex's exes, YouTuber King Annie. This one, luckily for my sanity, is only 2 pages instead of the 82 we just went through. It mostly goes over similar behaviour over the course of the relationship, however not to the same level of severity and minus any physical altercations. All of this, however, isn't backed up with any evidence, with the only thing having any even slight backing is the allegation that Alex's infamous Back to Nothing video was actually targeted towards Annie over the breakup, claiming that Alex can be seen pressing a bracelet that she got him to his lips around the 4-minute mark. Whilst I can certainly believe this is true, I don't think it's the real reason this document was released. The document claims that Alex was the only one pushing the hardest elements of the Slazo drama, with the others catching flack for his statements. But a quick search can confirm that Annie herself was still pushing back against Slazo even after the consensus on the wider internet had switched to his side. I really feel this document is nothing more than a move to try pin the entirety of the Slazo drama onto Alex and clear everyone else of any involvement. A smart move, I'll admit, considering right now the internet wants to pin as much as possible on Alex, and I can understand why. But this still doesn't justify Annie's attempt to weasel her way out of any involvement. Much in the same vein as this document, we have a series of tweets put out by creator Bluestank. Whilst not directly referencing the situation like Annie, Bluestank tries to portray himself as this high and mighty figure who has known about Alex for ages and has been warning others in the community. Once again, Bluestank was heavily involved with the Slazo drama, so I find it interesting how he's now trying to use this situation to try and make a grab for some credibility. The other bits that I find interesting about the responses is the fact that everyone seems to be collaborating the allegation that Alex is a bad person to be around and also extremely narcissistic, which honestly doesn't come as too much of a surprise. The other bit that does surprise me, however, is the fact that they were allegedly unfollowing and refollowing each other after the split. This seems to be a somewhat common thread amongst the responses. but comparing this to the timeline within the document seems a little out of place. Whilst it's clear from the screenshots that there was still contact after the split, and I would be able to understand blocking and unblocking over the course of this process, unfollowing and refollowing seems to be certainly a step above that. I really don't feel this changes too much. It's clear in the document and attached screenshots that Alex is a very manipulative person, and I can see Alice falling for his behaviour even after the breakup. The reason why I feel this may have been played down in the document is I can certainly understand her wanting to leave this fact out. So, we've been here for long enough. Let's get to the conclusion. He's fucked. He's so unbelievably fucked. Like, this entire document could be completely and utterly untrue, but what's in the videos is more than bad enough for it to be completely and utterly Jova for him. And based off of the videos, I'm willing to say that, in my opinion, a lot of the stuff in this document is likely true. I think the best that Alex can hope for out of a response is making Alice look just as bad as him, if it turns out that the abuse was more mutual than is outlined in Alice's document. But even then, as I said earlier, this wouldn't excuse any of his behaviour. It seems like a lot of people had already cut ties with Alex before this, whether it be because of rumours surrounding the situation or other reasons. And now this is out in the public, it seems the last stragglers have left. I really don't see a way out for Alex here. The only real options left for him are just to stay radio silent and leave the internet, or respond and finally prove to everyone that he really can do it all alone.
So don't